eternal, it requires a creator.
Wait, but the universe is
Yes.
trivially eternal, right? Because by
Well,
eternal, you
by
just mean like
eternal, he
present.
might mean eternal could mean two things here, right? It could mean that for every moment of time that has existed, the universe has existed, and that could mean that nonetheless there's a beginning to time. Or it could mean that there's never been a first moment of time and the universe has existed at every moment of time in the past.
What I'm saying is God existed at every moment in time. He existed before time was created.
We were just trying to clarify what it would mean to say that the universe is eternal, right?
It's not eternal.
Wait, when you say it's not eternal, what are you understanding eternal to mean there?
The universe has a beginning. The beginning is eternal, the creation of God.
So you're saying,
eternal means you existed
So
before
you're saying eternal,
time existed.
Wait,
Secret,
exist
hold up.
before time existed? That's incoherent. You can't exist before
you
time.
watch Adventure Time, right?
I watch what?
Look,
Adventure
look,
Time.
you understand before is just like temporal language, right? And what we mean by
Like,
before.
I'm saying God
Hold on,
is,
hold on.
I guess
Yeah,
to
that's
your
fine.
understanding,
Hold on.
primordial.
Jack, your background's like crazy loud.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Just so it doesn't like overwhelm the live, just like me when you're not talking, if it's loud.
Yeah. So to say that God exists prior to time existing, right? If prior is understood as a temporal concept, that would mean he existed at a time before time, and that doesn't make any sense. So that can't be what you mean.
Well, what I was trying to say is that God is an eternal and primordial being.
Right.
But
Okay.
do you
So we've
understand the
understood.
point?
We've understood that eternal mean the way you're using it. It means something like that it doesn't have a beginning in time. Right. That's what you're understanding it to mean, right?
Oh, well, okay. Look, you know how they say space-time continuum.
Yeah, but let's just get clear on the answer to that question so we can move forward with the
Well,
dialogue.
wait. I just want to hold on. They say space-time.
Mm-hmm.
That means the space-time is a fabric of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
God created the universe. Time did not exist until He created the universe.
Oh, so now you're saying that it's not the case that God has always existed in time. So by eternal, you don't actually mean not having a beginning in time, but existing in time with an infinite duration into the past.
God is primordial. He existed before time.
When you say before time, do you mean temporally? Temporally before?
I don't know if you watch like any like Dungeons and Dragons or stuff like that when they mention primordial beings.
You're not answering the question, right?
But I don't think he understands what I'm trying to say.
He just asked you a clarifying question you just didn't answer.
Yeah.
All right,
so
what was the question?
The question is, when you say that God exists before time, are you understanding before in a temporal sense?
I don't know what that word means.
Meaning occurring at a time that precedes a later moment of time.
I think
Right?
so,
Like
but
then it can't be the case that God creates time, because to say that he existed before there was time just means he existed at a time before there was time, and that's incoherent.
well, I'm going to go by you guys' logic, right? There was no space time until the universe was created, right?
Well, right now I was trying to address your claim that the universe is not eternal, and if it is not eternal, it requires a creator.
Yes, it does.
Right, and I'm just trying to first understand when you say the universe is not eternal, what you mean by that, and then to understand, if we grant, for the sake of argument, that it isn't eternal in that sense, why it would require a creator. But first we need to clarify what you mean when you say it's not eternal.
Though in the Bible it says the world is going to end. It
Okay.
clearly states that.
The world is
He's
going to
asking.
end. Okay, so by eternal you mean something that doesn't have an end? Is that what we're saying now?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you say the universe is going to end, why would we accept that?
I mean, there's scientific proof that it's going to end. I mean, come
Okay, so
on.
you're saying that there's an argument or set of arguments from physics that are like empirically well supported. There's a theoretical model, let's say, that's empirically well supported, but there's good reason to accept that has as a consequence of the model that the universe is going to end. Okay, I can grant that for the sake of argument. Let's say we grant that. Why does that entail that it requires a creator? I mean, why does it follow
Because
from that
you
it requires
can't
a
make
creator?
a pencil out of nothing. It requires wood. It requires graphite. It requires whatever is
So
made
now
out
it
of those
sounds
erasers.
like you want to say something like, for something to begin to exist, it requires a material cause, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, for humans, right? But a god can make, he can make anything. Like, just look at a video game, right? Where you can spawn in stuff. It's the same thing that God is doing, but, differently.
Um, well, I'm not really tracking here. I thought you wanted to make some kind of argument that for something to exist, it requires a material cause, and so therefore, for the universe to exist, it must have a material cause.
Well, that's
Right?
not exactly what I'm saying. Okay, so, like, say, like, the idea of a pencil. Like, someone needed to think about how they were going to make that, right? God had the idea of creating the universe.
What I'm trying to understand is, I'm trying to see the logical connection between the universe having an end and it having a creator. Like, why could you not have something exist that will cease to exist at some future time that is uncreated? Why is that logically ruled out?
Wait, I'm sorry. What, can you say that again?
I'm trying to understand the connection between something not existing forever, right? That meaning that it will cease to exist in the future, right? And it, in virtue of that fact, needing a creator. Why would it need to have a creator if it's going to cease to exist?
Okay, okay. Someone had to come up with the idea to make a car. If no one thought of making a car, it wouldn't be made, right? Someone had to think to make the universe.
Well, but that's
Look,
the
he's
question.
asking, in virtue of the fact that it's not eternal, how does that like logically imply that it has a creator?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because it's not analytically true of something that has an end, that has a beginning.
Well, not
or
just
that
has
it
a
has
beginning,
even
but
an
it has,
ontological beginning.
but not just has a beginning, but has an agential cause, right? Because I assume that's
Yeah.
what he means by creator.
Wait, what? I mean, how else do you think? Like, you think like this was just all random? Like, what are you trying to tell me?
Well, look, it seems like there's a couple of options, right? One option is to say, or at least a couple. One option is to say the universe doesn't have a beginning, It's always existed, meaning that it's had an infinite past, right? So we'd need a reason to think that it doesn't or could not have an infinite past, right? But if we granted that it does not have an infinite past, right, it doesn't follow from the fact that it has a beginning, right, that it has a creator, right? So we're trying to understand how you get from the fact that it would have a beginning that it has a creator. Why couldn't it have not had a creator?
Because someone had to think like, this is what I'm going to make. This is my creation.
No, that
That's
just seems to
begging
be
the question
begging the
for
question.
agency.
Yeah, that just seems to be begging the question. We're trying to understand, why ought we accept that claim? What's the argument? What's the argument that rationally compels us to accept that claim? Why would we be irrational to not accept it?
So you think, okay. So do you think a car could just
Wait, hold on.
randomly
You keep asking questions.
exist
I don't think you're
by
tracking. Hold on. I don't think
itself?
you're tracking. We're saying for the sake of argument, granted that something has a beginning, right? Namely the universe. That why is it, like, what's the motivation to suspect that it was like an agential explanon, right? Like an explanation by a mind. That's what we're asking.
Because I mean, someone had to think about how they're going to make this world.
No, but that's what we're asking you to support.
That's just, yeah. Okay,
Well,
look,
I mean,
it's logically possible there's like an alternative explanation for the existence of the universe that's like none and doesn't deal with agency. It's not a mind, right?
Now, he might say it's not logically possible, but we need to see why.
Well, he's not going to be able to like cough up a contradiction. I doubt he would really know what he's saying. But look, do you take it that's possible that the universe is explained by like something without a mind?
no, because how come this is the only planet with life on it?
Wait, that just seems like incredulity, right? What I'm asking is, do you take it it's impossible? It's logically impossible. If you don't know what that means, I could clarify.
Yeah, I don't think anything can just be made from nothing.
That's not what we're asking.
Yeah, we're not saying the
No, you're
universe
not.
was made from nothing, right? We're saying if it had a beginning, right, there doesn't seem to be, you haven't really offered a reason why, if it had a beginning, it would require a creator.
Yeah, just look, take it, the universe is explained by X, such that X doesn't have a mind. That's what we're saying, that it's explained by something without a mind. And you're saying that that's not logically possible.
Well,
like,
it might not have an explanation, right? It might be a brute contingent fact.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Universe.
You look at pictures of heaven in the Bible, and you go up in the clouds, and you don't see anybody there. Well, what if there's an alternate universe where there is a heaven and a hell, and that's where that is?
How does this contribute to your reasons to believe that a mind explains the universe?
Yeah, we're just trying to understand what considerations show that if the universe had a beginning, it had to have been created by some agent.
The Bible.
Yeah, but
It
why would
says
we
clearly that he created this
look,
place.
let's say we granted that that's what the Bible says. Why would we accept that the Bible is true?
Well,
But look, you
I'm going to say
understand
this,
that the
right?
Bible is just like a set of propositions, right? Namely, one of them being God, right? And that's what's under scrutiny, right? And you're just referring to like the same thing that we're like trying to get like a reason to support the belief of.
Right, like I don't think that all the claims in the Bible are true, including that one. So you saying that it's in the Bible isn't a reason for me to think that it's true. Right?
Well,
So I'm
okay,
asking, why should I think
granted,
it's true
but
if I don't think
just
the
hear me
Bible
out,
is true?
okay? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what I want to say is, all right, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, what I want to say is, right, the Bible may not be the end all be all, right, explanation of God, but you have to understand that the three main religions is Islam, Judaism, and Christianity.
No, look, this is a
So, I
derail.
mean,
You're
by
not.
that
Hold on.
fact,
You're
they
not.
all
Hold
worship
on.
the
Hold on.
same God.
Hold
So
on. You're not tracking the
that's just
conversation,
proof
though.
that this God.
Why are you over talking me? When I say stop, stop. Okay, look. You're saying that you believe a mind explains the universe, right? That explains the beginning of the universe, and then your reasons to believe that is because the Bible says it, and then we're asking why should we be rationally compelled to accept what the Bible is saying, and then now you're going on like some like rant about like Abrahamic theology, like this. We're asking for like an inferential reason. You can unmute yourself.
Look, it has there has to be a God because the three main religions they all worship the same God. They just don't agree on whether
Why would that?
Jesus was the Son of God.
What about that? Yeah, what about that is reason giving to believe there's a God?
I mean, how can three religions all have the same agreement on the first part?
You're just asking a question. I'm asking what about that is like reason giving to believe a God exists? Because
I
it's
mean,
logically possible
where
there's
did these
three
books come
false
from?
religions. It's possible there's three false religions that agree on something and they're false. Like now you're just asking me to give you like an account for why, like what explains the writings of the Bible. How does that contribute again to like reason to believe in the Bible, right? I have no answer as to what's the source of the Bible, and it can still not be reason giving. You're not okay. Look, I don't. Okay, what's the reason to believe that that God explains the universe? You said the Bible.
Well,
What about the Bible is reason giving to believe that a mind creates the
look,
universe? You say because it says so.
it's very simple, right? In order to create a world video game, you need a code, right?
How's this an answer to the question?
In the video
We're
game world,
asked
you need a code, an idea.
great,
It
but
can't just just exist just because.
why can't it? Is it logically impossible that there's a game that has no like coder behind it? Yeah, it is. It is logically possible. There exists a game that's uncreated. It just always existed.
No,
Yes. Do you know what logical impossibility means? Do you think there's a contradiction? Do you even know what a contradiction is?
you said a logical impossibility. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I said it's possible there's a game that has no coder. You said no. I'm talking about logical modality here. Logical possibility. It's logically possible there's a game without a coder. It's an uncreated game. Go for the
No,
hard
that's
stage.
that it doesn't exist yet, so it doesn't
We're not
have a
talking about
coder.
whether it
But once it
exists. We're
exists,
talking
it's going to
about
have a
it being
coder.
logically.
Unless you're
We're
talking about
talking.
AI and
Look,
stuff, which is
you're not
not what I'm
tracking.
talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about right now. You're just saying nonsense. Very clearly, what I'm saying is we can imagine a hypothetical where there's a game that has no creator. The game just always existed, a video game, right? So your analogy about a game has to have a coder just doesn't follow because it's not logically necessitated that if there's a game, there's a
It
coder.
is logically necessary.
Nor would I have reason to suspect that's even analogous to the universe.
It
Okay, so
is
why? So
a game without a coder.
okay, you keep lagging, but also I don't think this is going anywhere. You can have like a nice day, but there's some other people who are waiting. They all left, but continue to tap the screen like the live share around if you know any theists, anyone who has questions, reasons, arguments for God, stuff like that. Yo, Jack, you there?
Yeah.
All right. He tried. He wasn't tracking. Yeah, he wasn't.
No, but that guy at least was not a jerk.
Yeah, no. At least he was like, I mean, there was parts he was like over talking constantly, but I don't think it was like
Yeah, but he
intentional.
wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't because he was a jerk. It was just because he was
Yeah.
probably a little hyped or something.
Goat Jack on TikTok. Yeah. You know, I just uploaded to the literally right like it was like an hour ago that I uploaded the video with you and John. That shit was hilarious.
And today?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you upload?